Hey Sparty, do you have a budget?
Welcome to MSUFCU's Fin 40 Tiny Mic, where we ask students questions about finances to test their knowledge.
All right, how do you budget?
I budget how much income I make, how much I need for semester for school, and then each category from car, savings, food.
Normally I budget it based off of my income, so I divide it based on the things that I need and things that I want.
Well, that's a good question. Well, I mean, of course, having a budget means, like, you're going by a certain amount of money, like a fixed amount, and not going past that. So, I mean, I guess I would take, like, all the costs of what's necessary, add them up, and then never go past that.
I mainly kind of calculate it based on the big stuff, kind of my rent first, and then different utilities, and then I focus more on like food and then whatever's left over, I guess, just for fun things.
I have like probably 20% that goes to like necessities, and then the rest of it's just like whatever I want.
I usually do percentages based off my bi-weekly income.
Well, I'm usually not working during the school year, so really just like if I'm like babysitting or cat sitting, if I make however much money, $300, I try not to spend that money before I make more.
Awesome. So looking at this, it's really cool to see how we break down different budgets. There's a lot of different ways to do a budget, but the basic way to do a budget is income minus expenses equal budget. Simple as that. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can use a mobile app. You can also use an Excel spreadsheet, or you can just get out a pen and paper, write down all your expenses, write down your income, and minus that and see exactly what the budget looks like. What is the average amount of money you should have in an emergency savings account?
Ooh, if possible, at least $300, but if not, I would say at least $100.
Emergency savings, I'd say like $400 at least.
I try to have normally like at no less than $500.
I think it really depends on how old you are, what kind of things you might have an emergency for. Like me, I'm still very reliant on my parents, so a couple thousand is probably fine.
Maybe like $700 or something like that.
I would say a couple $1,000, just like in case of like a medical emergency or family emergency, like if I need to fly home or something, just something like that.
The advice I learned was 3 months rent.
Okay, that's correct. These are great answers. 100, 300, 700, 1,000. My friend, the last one got it right though with 3 months rent. When you have an emergency savings, you're looking to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in there. What's your guilty purchase?
Probably coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
How much do you spend on coffee a week, you think?
Well, since I'm on campus, it's not too bad, but over the summer, I spend probably about like $6 to $8 a day.
$6 to $8 a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably clothes or gifts. I love giving gifts, and I definitely don't have a budget for what I spend on things.
How much money would you say you spend on clothes and gifts in a month?
In a month, I would say gifts anywhere between like $20 to $100.
Okay.
And clothes, probably not as much. I like thrifting and finding good deals.
I like to buy like used books.
You like to buy what?
Used books.
Used books? Okay. So how much does like a used book run for you a monthly? Do you think you spend on used books?
Probably not a ton, maybe like 50.
I love to order like Domino's pizza a lot, so they come straight to my door so easy.
Okay, I just want you to know it's a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
How much do you spend on Domino's a month?
That's hard. I have no idea. I'd say I buy it probably like once every 2 weeks or something like that.
It's not too bad. And then
Except
what?
for finals week, of course.
You can double down on finals.
Oh yeah, of course.
Video games,
Video
easily.
games? And then how much do you think you spend on video games a month?
Well, if I had my gaming system with me, I'd probably be like 100, 200.
Okay. Pretty big, decent chunk of change for the video games there.
Yeah,
In high school, it was definitely just getting food because I would like leave school and I was hungry before practice. But now it's just kind of clothes, I think.
Okay, how much would you say you spend on clothes a month?
Probably like $200 maybe.
Oh, books. I love going to Schuler's, and it's so hard for me not to blow like $50 on books that I'm only gonna read once.
How much do you think you spend on books a month?
Well, it depends. In the summer, definitely like probably 20 to 50, and then during the school year, I'm reading less. So, well, not counting textbooks.
Right, that's not a guilty pleasure expense. I love hearing about people's guilty expenses. I'm guilty of making impulse purchases. The thing we have to consider though when we're creating our budget are these impulse purchases. I'm not saying you can't have these. Absolutely you can have these. Just account for them in your budget and enjoy all the pizza that you want, all the books that you want, whatever it may be, all the coffee. Just account for them in your budget and you'll be good to go.
If an emergency were to happen, how would you pay for it if you didn't have the money in your savings?
I would probably have to ask my parents for a loan or something like that.
I would take it out of my savings.
Ideally cash out of my savings and then going into other funds if I needed to.
Probably out of my checking account.
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know, honestly, seems like the realest answer when I think about it, but we see people pulling from the savings, which is great if emergency were to happen. I hear a lot of students say, hey, I'm gonna call up my mom or dad. So it's important to have that emergency savings established for an emergency to happen, right? If we don't do that, then we have to rely on other people. We may have to even take out a loan, and what does a loan equal? Maybe potentially more debt. So build up that emergency savings, make sure it's in a good spot for when an emergency occurs.
What's the worst purchase you've ever made?
Worst purchase I've ever made. I'm not sure. I guess that would be probably I got a really cool bracelet one time. It was pretty expensive, like $50, and it broke like within the first week. Yeah, so kind of a really bad purchase on my part.
And you can tell no bracelets, right? No more bracelets.
No bracelets on today.
If I had to say it, I think it would probably be like, well, it was a video game I bought, and it was just like, I tried playing it, I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Worst quality sold. It's
Oh my gosh. I have this god awful TV in my dorm room right now. It's so bad. The speakers are in the back, so I have to have the volume like all the way up. I regret that so much.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like fun. How much did you spend on that TV, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was only like $175 maybe, but the worst $175 I've ever spent.
Understandable.
I think I sometimes will splurge on like clothes that I don't really need. I'd probably say clothes.
Close.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Probably running shoes. I spent $200 on running shoes and I don't like running. Or probably like a GoPro. I haven't used it as much.
Okay, yeah, those are expensive purchases.
Yeah.
So.
It's like in my mind, but I can't think of it. I've definitely like spent a lot of money on something that I ended up not using, which really hurts. I can't think of what it was.
Just for reference, one time I bought a keyboard. I thought I was gonna be a musician. I only learned how to play sound effects sounds on it. Oh, no. I made a cool video, but it only got like 10 likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think of our worst purchases that we make. I'm guilty of it myself, as you've heard in the video. But the thing is, when we think about guilty purchases, we really think about how we're going to use this item or what's it going to be used for, right? When we're making our purchases, a good thing to do is comparison shop. Look around, look at our reviews, do your research on it, sleep on your decision. Don't use that impulse to make it. I'm guilty as everyone else, but it's important to make wise decisions when we're making our purchases, especially when we're investing a lot of money into it.
What percentage of your income do you put towards your savings?
About 20%.
I don't have too big of an income right now, so it's not that much, but yeah, hopefully in the future I can have more.
It makes it harder, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably say about 20%.
When I get my paycheck, I'll usually put like 40% in my savings account.
Probably about 25-30%.
I do around 25% as of right now. Yeah.
I absolutely love these answers when we're talking about 20, 25, 30%. Pay yourself first, make it a bill. We pay everybody else. Put a percentage towards your savings. 50, 30, 20 is a popular one. 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings. When we're looking to save, it's important to save as much as we can. The percentage might not equal 20, but whatever that is, it could be as little as $1. Get that savings going and it will continue to grow over time.
What is your dream purchase if you could have anything in the world?
I really want a cat.
A cat?
I want a cat really bad.
I have a 2003 car, so probably like anything above like a 2015 vehicle, honestly.
Ooh, probably a house.
Probably a beach house.
A beach house.
Yeah.
Okay. Any specific beach?
Definitely West Coast. Yeah.
I mean, my own house would be nice.
Really nice record player.
Probably would be a really nice camera.
These are very sensible dream purchases. I'm surprised nobody said like a tag or anything. We're looking at vehicles, we're looking at houses. These are all reasonable things to save up for. When we're considering how to get to that dream purchase, start with your savings, right? There's a lot of different options and look at higher dividend savings accounts, sub savers, whatever it is that you get to get to that goal and that dream purchase.